Hi. Um, Hi everyone. We are live. Let's do it. We are live on Instagram. We are live on Facebook, and of course, we are here live. We're live also on YouTube. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You all got no reason not to be here. We're there. We're everywhere. So um my lips are dry. I'm gonna put this on quickly in a while. Yeah, that's better. So let's see. I need to find time when this to get things set up on here for greater efficiency. But yeah, it's we're here. We're alive. Let's hang on a little bit to a couple people. Come on. Let me see how it is. Typically, I should be able to have. I should have gotten a notification that we are live. Okay, yeah, we are. We are live on Instagram. I've confirmed it. We're live on Instagram, and we are live on YouTube too. Yeah, that's been confirmed. I've gotten the notification. So if that is your preferred avenue, you can also find us on there on YouTube. We are still working behind the scenes to set things up and upload most of our videos on there. It's a process. Bear with us. It's a process. But yeah, we are here, are waiting for a couple of our regulars to come on, and we'll see. We'll see. If you are here, please say hello. Say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. If you're here, say hello in the chat. The count update is not always accurate. Hey, ma'am, how are you? Good evening. Good to have you on here. How are the boys? Say hello in the chat. Let me know you're here. I'm trying to get a notification for. Okay. Yeah, I think we are good. I think we are everywhere. Please share this. Share the link. Share the link of this to the volunteer group so everyone knows that we've started and people that want to be here can be here. So how was it? How was church today? Odosara, welcome. Please share the link to the volunteer group so other people can join us. We've started. We're not going to have a long one today. It's going to be short. Hello to you too. How was church? I hope you guys were able to go to church today. For those that go, for me, that's part of what we're going to be talking about in a little bit. So just give it a little while for a couple more people to come on. Share the link to the groups and let people know that we're here. Share the link everywhere so that we can start and so that we can end on time. This one is going to be 30 minutes. We're not going to go above 30 minutes. We have a lot of things to talk about. We need everyone to be ready to engage in the chat and tell us how your week was. Tell us what your plans are for the upcoming week. If you have been following me, the past couple days, you would see I posted one video where I came across a video from this young man. He was talking about, being audacious in your day-to-day life, if you have a goal, the things that you can do, making a choice each day to do one thing, just one thing towards that goal. And that no matter what you're doing in a day, hi, Udemy, welcome. No matter what you're doing in a day, if you have a goal, if you have something coming up, you put on one thing, you do one thing towards that goal. Hi, Olufumi Lola, thanks for coming on. So I just came across him and he was like, be audacious, be delusional in your confidence, be delusional in your pursuit of this goal. And I was like, you know what? This really resonates with me. Hi, Esther. Welcome. This really resonates with me right now. I need, the audacity, you know, to go out into my community. I'm trying to do a community event. Yes, we have you who are ardent supporters and volunteers for Kanemo Cancer Foundation. We have people that love us and support us all over the United States, in Nigeria, Europe, North America. But you know, we want to do something here in this new place that we moved to. And we're new, but we're like, I'm gonna be audacious. I'm gonna go out there and talk to people and just talk about who we are and talk about what we are doing and talk about why we want this support. And hi, Queen. Welcome. Hi, let's see, my boo. Welcome, Kaxi. So I was just like, this is a great idea. This is going to give me the motivation that I need this May to really push things, for the fundraiser that we have going on. And also, hi, baby, Catherine, welcome. Hi, Gracie. Yeah, y'all are doing it. Come on, come on. So I was like, you know what? This is a good way to motivate myself. Hi, Rosalind, welcome. Hello to you too. So I'm like, happy Sunday to you too. So I was okay. I'm gonna take this guy, take this video seriously. I've never done a challenge in my life, like all these, Facebook challenges that people do, Instagram, real. I've never done a social media challenge before, and it's ridiculous because when people want to do challenges, isn't it like dance challenge that they do? Why am I on here taking on a real life challenge? kind of, I was asking myself, this is the kind of thing that you do. Why are you doing this? But it makes total sense for me because I needed that. It was like I just came across that video. I needed that extra push. And so this is 2nd of May. This is literal 2nd. And it was like, this happened in April. I think it was a video from April. So I'm seeing it on the 2nd of May. I'm like, well, may have been an April challenge, but this is May. And it said 30 days challenge. This is 30 days from the 2nd of May. It's going to be 30 days by the 31st of May anyway. So this is 30 days challenge for me. So I need you guys to send me all your support, all your encouragement. It is every day I have to think of something to do. I'm typically thinking of, we are holding an event anyway. So we are working hard. Everyone on the team is pushing hard. But as the person that is the face of it, I have to think of one particular thing that's audacious, that's bold, that's confident, that's pushing me towards the success of Run for Nemo 2025. So, that being said, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to see all of you. Udeme, Abba, welcome, Ubonga Basi, welcome. I'm so excited to see all of you today because, today's a rough day, but I'm here smiling at you because at the end of the day, this is my path. This is the path that life has taken me, and this is the path that I have chosen to walk in this journey. What does this mean? Today is Bereaved Mother's Day in the United States. Next Sunday is Mother's Day in North America. And so the Sunday before Mother's Day is typically known as Bereaved Mother's Day, and that is today. And, there is just this feeling that comes across you, knowing that you are in this path that you did not choose. You've part of this group of people that no sane human being would want to be in, and you didn't choose this. And so if you've had the chance to read my Facebook post, I wanted to, just go back under the covers and just sleep and just, but instead I made the choice to wake up. And I said, and then I wanted to wear like all, I felt so like dark in my heart and just, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to wear black or anything. I'm not going to put anything that's black on me if I can make a choice. Because typically, for me, this, like this inner, I would probably have been black. And I chose the brightest thing in my wardrobe. If you get on Facebook, you would see the full photo. I am bright from the beginning to the end. I'm like literally all the bright colors that you can. I have blue that you can see. There is yellow. There is pink. There is red. There is, it's just, and I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna put on my red glasses. I'm gonna, put a little makeup on my face and go out to church. And I'm so glad that I was able to do that because I felt so much better being with God's people and just praising God. But then something happened. I don't know if I've shared it here before, but there's this song that no matter how hard I try, I cry to it. In Christ alone. I have I I mean, when Akanema died, church services, used to be very hard for me. I don't know whether it's just the soulful nature of hymns and the fellowship and the worship, but there is something that's innately powerful about the way we worship in my church. And that's not, screaming and, all that. So it kind of like just touches your heart and just puts a hold in your heart. And so I getting to church, the songs were beautiful. I loved all of them. And then let me tell you, the very last song, I had made it through. We had done a good job. I was telling myself, bravo, you've done a good job. No tears on this day, and we are getting to the end. Tell me why they are going to bring out in Christ alone. And I'm like, I almost made it. I almost made it because for some reason, two songs, In Christ Alone and 10,000 songs. I don't know. So those are the two songs. In Christ Alone, I think it's because we sang it at the funeral. But that is not the only song we sang at the funeral. That is not the only song that we sang at the funeral. So I don't know why. And then 10,000 songs, Akanimo sang the last verse of that song, which is actually about, well, the last verse of that song, if you go look it up, he sang it at the last children's event, children's Bible event that we did know, the summer event where the kids will practice all that, and then you go out and then they'll go out in the church and then they'll perform. He sang the last verse of that song. That was 2017, August or September in church. And it was every time they sing that song, when it gets to that last verse, I would just be in tears. And so I ended up crying in church today. I had to take my glasses off. I just wiped the tears off my face. But I also do not feel that, there is anything in it's I'm in God's presence. This is just how it is. And I mean, he put this path before me. He knows how it is. I've gone past trying to question why I'm crying in church, but it is what it is. So that was my church. That was my church today. But yeah, we made it, and it's Bereaved Mother's Day, and we acknowledge this day. For all the mothers who are going through this pain and trying to survive each day. It is the hardest thing. Think about your hardest day and then multiply it by 1,000, because the best thing or the most peaceful period in your life, is when you are asleep. It's when you are asleep. And then for some of us, we can't even get that because you know, I mean, you are grieving and now you are insomniac, and so you can't even sleep, and so what is going on with your life? Oh my God. But, anyways, we take it one day at a time. We um, try as much as we can to push forward. And we also recognize through the work that we do that we are coming with our children along the path of life, which is a difficult thing to do, coming from a culture where, the expectation is that, when your child is dead, you, the entire, everyone around you, everyone is working towards making you a different person, as if your life does not consist of that child anymore because it's gone. And that is the hard thing. That is the hard thing with our culture. So, me being in this, always being somebody who've had to make my path for myself, I knew that this is not how I want to be. This boy was a part of me. This boy is a beautiful part of me. Academo. This is the first child that made me a mother. And there is no way I'm going to be successful moving forward in life without carrying him along with me in some way. And that is why we are here today. That is why we are able to do what we're doing today. So today may be Bereaved Mother's Day, but it is not a day of pity. It is a day of acknowledgement that there are so many women living in this world in pain, and it is like a living, breathing pain that you experience every day. And over time, you just figure out a way to live life alongside it somehow, survive in spite of it. It's the beauty of the resilience that God has put inside each one of us. We just have to work at getting it out, and yeah, I'm glad to be able to share all of this with you guys today. It's not something that I share often. It's talks that I have with very few close people and my therapist. But I guess it's a good way to share, because it's important for us in our culture to realize that we need to give support to people who have lost children. We don't do that. We don't do that in Nigeria. You can't even be sad because people feel like it's a reflection on them, on how well they've not done their work of making you happy if you're sad. But you are in a perpetual state of sadness. Once you've lost a child, everything that you feel is in addition to being sad. There's no way that you can take it away. And so, how do you figure out living your life in spite of how you're feeling and what you're feeling, and trying to bring some fulfillment still to your life? And that takes us to what we are trying to do here with this nonprofit. What takes us to here, because I read a book, and it said one of the live bits in that book was just like, okay, the last, trying to paraphrase what they said, like, the last stage of grief is service. It's realizing that this is the entirety of humanity. Everybody's going to lose something in some way, and what you have lost, you can gain some satisfaction in giving back to their society. And that is what we are trying to do. Akadema was my son, is my son. I consider him my son to the day that I died. Akadema was also a brother. He was a cousin, niece and nephew. There are many of you here who identify, with him through a relationship. And I appreciate the love and the commitment that you bring to the work that we do in here. And I want to acknowledge that today, that especially for my family, everything from the beginning that I've ever said, oh, I want to do this. And they'll be like, okay, what are we doing? From his first memorial to his first birthday after he had passed away and everything. And then even when we founded this nonprofit, everything that we have done, I really have to acknowledge it. My family, and when I say my family, I'm talking about from my husband's part of the family and my part of the family, they're always like, okay, what can we show us? Just tell us what you want to do. Tell us. So I have been able to live in my truth because of that support that I get. And I wanted to just put it out there and acknowledge it today. So next thing is Mother's Day that's coming up next Sunday. I already talked about it. That next Sunday is Mother's Day in North America, and I'm trying to figure out how to make this happen. We're probably going to have a guest on, and then because I'm trying to be sure that I enjoy Mother's Day. I don't know what the man of the house has planned. He better have something planned, but um, I'm I'm hoping that I'm not going to be available for Mother's Day. I may be able to join in wherever I am, but I'll let you guys know. Let me not say anything definite right now, and if we are not going to be able to hold, we will postpone. We will cancel, not postpone, we'll cancel next session, and then we'll have the next one. On the third Sunday of the month, we have a guest. We have a big, big, big special guest. I really want everyone to make plans to be here and spread the word. May is Brain Cancer Awareness Month, and we're going to bring on a family who's lost a child to brain cancer, and they are in the nonprofit space right now working to create awareness for brain cancer, and it's a privilege for us to have them on. So please, let's see how we can increase the numbers and the participation and just have people come around and show them love and, just be here, bring your questions and, just let's get a full house is what I'm trying to say. They are based out here in the United States, and I will be posting the we will be posting the I'll tell them to work on a flyer with their information so everyone would know what to expect. But that is going to be for the third um, Sunday in May. Also wanted to highlight that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I know we did speak a bit about when mental health last month, but we're going to take some time to really talk about mental health when it comes to the cancer journey for children, because as we know, cancer affects the entire family. Once a child has cancer, it's the anxiety, the pain, everything, apart from the person who is going through that, what they themselves are going through, which also comes with a lot of anxiety, depression. There is that, it permeates the entire family. The anxiety, is my child going to live? Is my child going to die? And you have to make decisions on things that are so medical that you should not even know about, and yet they expect you to be the one to say yes, yeah, let's do that. And you're like, do I even know the full consequences of what I'm deciding, and how does that affect? Thank you, Salawat. It says I love your glasses. Thank you. How does that affect the work or the decisions that you are making, or affects you as a person afterwards, the decisions that you are making during that process? I can tell you for sure that it is heart-wrenching. And for me, personally, there were some decisions that I made about Akanimo that, that were tough, really tough. And I did not know the consequences of them at the time. And then at the end of it all, I was like, I had to be in therapy to work on, not carrying the guilt of making my child go through CPR at the end. I shouldn't have had to decide that. I did not know what I was doing, because I did not, I thought that CPR, like you see on TV and they will, no, it is terrible. Anyways, that is not the point. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and you're going to be having a guest talk to us about mental health. And so you also gonna come with your. I know that some of us are in a society where my own mental health, just give me money. That's the thing. Money in my hand. And what are you talking about? Which all the health will come. But there are things that money cannot money cannot buy us. There are things that come with going through the kind of pain that a child, just even sitting down and seeing your child scream in pain. Scream in pain. When Akanema was in treatment in Nigeria, I'm telling you that, you know, there were moments, that was probably the hardest thing. His pain not being controlled was the hardest thing. And sometimes my mind would just flash back to those days that I would stay by the staircase and I would hear his scream. I could still hear it in my head as I'm talking to you right now. And so to have that follow you through life, you have to come up with some mechanisms to be able to cope. So again, not a factor of money, but I know that's, so May is mental health awareness, and we're going to be talking more about it. And I'm going to be rounding up because I said, it's not going to be a long one today. You guys are so quiet in the chats. I don't know what's going on over there. But anyways, today is May 4. And this is courtesy of Akanimo. May 4, if you're on the internet at all, you would hear people say, may the fourth be with you. This is in reference to Star Wars. Akanema was a Star Wars. The boy was just a nerd. People that know him, they know he was just a nerd. And it's, kind of a way of staying close to the memory of him that I liked. I started getting into that. Actually, when you have to be in the hospital with a TV in front of you and your child is watching, you end up just watching what the child is watching. It's just like your kids watching cartoon all the time. For him, it was Star Wars, Marvel, The Flash, SpongeBob, Harry Potter, and what else? The something world of Gumballs. He was a nerd. Anyways, so Star Wars, my one of my best memories is that when we got to go to Disney World in 2019, it was just before he got another relapse. We literally had to get him out of the hospital to make that trip. It was as if the social worker knew. I know that she knew that something was coming. But anyways, we got in to Disney World and we had the best time. But one of the highlights was him meeting those Star Wars figures in this new and where we stayed at it's a children's resort. So it was a beautiful experience. He was like he was giddy. The two things happened, three actually. He got to meet the Star Wars people. He got to meet Spider-Man, which is like his best superhero, and then the Harry Potter world at Universal Studios. My son was in heaven. That trip was the best thing that happened. Shout out to Make a Wish for making that trip happen to us and giving Academa the best experience of his life. That I'm so glad that he was able to experience that, because by the time we came back from that trip, it was a whole other mess. And he was just in the hospital all the way through to the end. But it stuck with me because as I'm sitting here, I cannot miss a new. I ended up watching the Mandalorian or something. I'm like, what am I looking at? But I did get into it. I did get into it towards the end. And then I love Yoda. He made me love Yoda. I remember, I think it was 2019 Father's Day that he got his father Yoda best dad in the world or something. It was a plaque. It said Yoda best dad. And so when we were prepping, our posts for the week, and then I saw the best warrior. I almost broke into tears. I was like, this is nerdy, and it's just the kind of thing he would have done. But yesterday I went out to an auction for a foster home, a nonprofit that's a foster home, and they had a lot. They had a lot. If you follow our social media or my own personal WhatsApp or even my own personal social media, I posted a lot of the things that happened yesterday. So they had a lot of stuff that people could get. But you know what I got? I got Yoda. I got Yoda. I was like, I cannot miss this. So they had this pillow. It came together. It's a Yoda pillow, right? That comes with the Yoda. That comes with the Yoda. And I was like looking through the things that were, and I saw it. I was like, this is my heart just got stuck there. That was the first thing and then someone had the starting bid was I think like $20 or so. So I just put a couple dollars on there. I said like I'm getting it. And I kept checking. I hope nobody has taken any interest in this to add to the bid. I was ready to get this. So it didn't matter to me how much some people were going to bid on. But yes, I got Yoda. But you know what I'm going to do with this Yoda? I'm going to give it to a kid with cancer that is in love with Star Wars. And I got it just in time for May 4th. This is serendipity because why is this happening all at this? I'm so excited. This is gonna be so excited. I don't know why. I think it's just my heart, linking to my son. And yes, the pillow. I was like, oh my God, this is so we're gonna put this, put it out there and give it to a kid that's battling cancer and is in love with. Maybe we'll put it towards our the Run for Nemo event, or maybe I'll just get to the hospital, talk to one of the child life specialists, and see if there's a child right now that is a big Star Wars fan, and I would just make the kids. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. That this was cute and very exciting. So the pillow and the little Yoda toy um, reminded me so much of Akarimo and his whole Yoda thing. He used to do this where he's talking in like Yoda voice, and you know how he gets his English chopped English like a speaking pidgin. Anyways, so that is it. That is our show for today, and um, I want to appreciate you guys for being here. I want to appreciate you guys for hanging in there. We are going to be making clips of this and sharing it throughout the week, so people will be able to, people that cannot afford to watch one long 30 minutes can watch it. That's a new thing that we are going to be doing. But thank you guys for being here, and thank you for the encouragement, and thank you for the love, and thank you for being amazing. And big reminder, please remember to order your t-shirts. Remember, if you're in Nigeria, you pay 10,000 naira to the Academic Cancer Foundation account for your t-shirt. T-shirts are going to be sent out once to each location. So everyone put your money together and we'll send it out to one location, and that is how we are going to do to reduce costs instead of sending upon each order. And then, of course, if you are here in the United States or North America, please, 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 you know what's happening. I don't need to be talking much. I don't know what's happening with, there are things happening with deliveries and stuff. So please order your t-shirts on time. Please get on the website and form your teams. Or even if you are donating $10, $10, you are putting money towards research for childhood cancer. I would not be sitting here before you on this day if Akanima was alive. We always had a thought of creating a foundation, but our thought was, I always used to encourage him. I would say, you know what, you're gonna speak with your mouth, tell your story yourself. And so um, I'm just the second best person to do it. I shouldn't. You know, yeah, you get my point. So everything that we do, it's towards making it better for the people coming after us. Because every day, about 4,000 kids diagnosed with cancer worldwide. Worldwide. So this is not a game. And what's making it bad is that the percentage of the children that are going to die or live literally depends on what part of the world they were born in. And so there are people that are already have, the odds are against them just by virtue of where they are born. And we are trying to do our best to turn the hand just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. I was talking to somebody this week and this past week, and I said, where I come from, out of every 10 child that is diagnosed with cancer, 8 is going to die. That is the statistics. That is the truth, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. In Nigeria, out of every 10 child diagnosed with cancer, 8 will die. Because our survival rate is 20%. But here in the United States, where I live, out of every 10, it's definitely going to be alive. 8. And the number is constantly going towards 90. And the other 10-15% is because of, just outrageous kinds of diseases, like the ones that Akanima got, like DIPG that we are going to be talking about, like the crazy brain cancers, bone cancers, all those ones. And they are battling every day to figure out how to change things. And so we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to combat, infrastructurally, so many things that we need to work on, and we can't do it all because we don't have the resources to do it. And so what can we do? The little that we can do is to focus on the little that we can affect directly on the lives of these kids that we have come to know. And what can we do on the research part to support? What can we do? What can we do in capacity building to support? That is, we just literally just looking at what can we do, and that is where we can start. And so thank you for the support. And thank you, because I know that come June 14, you are going to be in your location shining a light on childhood cancer. Courtesy Akanimo Ekanim. Thank you all, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I may or may not see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.